I got pregnant after one reckless night with my father's greatest enemy. When my father found out, he only gave me a choice. Kill the baby and keep my family name, or keep my child and walk out with nothing. So I left. I raised my son alone in a town where no one knew my past. Until 4 years later. The most dangerous man in the city walked into my cafe, took one look at my little boy, and froze. I woke up in a hotel room that smelled like expensive cologne and regret. My head was pounding, my throat was dry, and my body ached in ways I had never experienced before. Then I turned my head. Axel Knight lay beside me, bare-chested beneath the white sheets, his sculpted body half revealed, muscles relaxed in sleep, faint scars tracing across his skin like quiet warnings. Dangerously handsome, even unconscious. My father's greatest enemy. The mafia lord who ruled the city's shadows. The business tycoon whose name dominated headlines and gossip columns every weekend, always photographed with some stunning woman clinging to his arm. And now, I was the woman in his bed. My heart slammed violently against my ribs. Oh God, what have I done? I barely remembered the night before. Too much whiskey. A New Year's Eve party filled with powerful men and fake smiles. I remembered laughing, drinking, losing control. But I never imagined I would wake up beside him. Carefully, I tried to slide out of bed without waking him. The moment my feet touched the floor, my legs trembled. A deep, unfamiliar soreness pulsed between my thighs. Slow, undeniable, humiliating. I sucked in a sharp breath, gripping the edge of the bed to steady myself. When I looked down, I froze. My skin was marked. Faint bruises along my waist, my thighs, my collarbone, proof of how wild the night had been. A cold shiver ran through me. I grabbed my dress from the floor, my hands shaking as I pulled it on, desperate to escape before he opened his eyes. That was when my phone vibrated. My sister. Eve, where are you? Stella whispered urgently. Why aren't you in your room? I'm still out, I said, lowering my voice as I glanced back at the man still sleeping on the bed. Still out? She repeated. You mean the Imperial Hotel? Yes, I'll explain later. I hung up before she could ask anything else. Barefoot, clutching my heels in my hand, I slipped into the hallway and froze. A man in a gray suit stood waiting outside the door. He looked at me calmly, professionally. Is he still inside? He asked. Yes, I whispered. Do you want me to drive you home? No. He studied me for a second, then nodded. I didn't wait. I turned and walked away, heart racing, disappearing into the elevator before anyone could stop me. I made it home just before dawn. Stella was already waiting in the garage, arms crossed, eyes sharp with suspicion. I brushed her off with excuses. Lies came easily, even as my chest burned with panic. Because if my father ever found out who I had spent the night with, I didn't even want to imagine the consequences. Under the shower, I scrubbed my skin until it burned, watching the water trace over the bruises he'd left behind. It meant nothing, I told myself. He won't remember me. It was just one drunken mistake. I buried the memory. Buried the way Axel Knight's name still made my pulse race. Everything was fine. I returned to my usual life. Long days at Walter's Group, sitting in boardrooms beside the management team, reviewing contracts, preparing myself for the future I had been raised to inherit, the perfect daughter, the obedient heir, until 5 weeks later. The night before my family arranged yet another political marriage for me, I stood alone in my bathroom, staring at the pregnancy test in my trembling hand. 2 pink lines. I'm pregnant, I whispered to my reflection. I pressed a hand to my stomach, my heartbeat pounding so hard it made my ears ring. I felt trapped. I